What's going on, guys? It's Jack Gillis 1875 here, and we have got a very special guest on the channel today, Hacky from Türkiyemspor in Berlin. They are a football team that are an ethnic Turkish club in Berlin. So thank you so much for joining me today. And he's here just to answer a few of my questions about Türkiyemspor as a club and what it's like being a Turkish club in Germany. So my first question is, what has it been like for you and the club during coronavirus?
Yeah, first I want to thank you for having me, for having us, for having who have interest for our club. The coronavirus, I think there is no big difference between Turkiyemspor other clubs in Germany. Everybody get infected of that, especially the last season was cancelled after a little bit more than half of the season was played, and then we cannot make trainings. Normally, we have to train every day or in the week 3 or 4 days, and we couldn't make that for the men's team, for the women's team, and especially for the youth teams, it is really important that they came together out of their houses and making it a sport not only to make goals, to come together and to make a little bit sports to feel more healthy. And that's even important in a time like that in a global pandemic. But we have this pandemic and we cannot change it, so we have to try to make the best, and we try to make some programs for young people over Instagram or internet using that, and maybe sports sessions at home and together with our coaches. That is a bit different because one of more into the internet than other coaches. So one of our players have more luck with the internet affine coach than the others. But we could not manage it better like we done it the last 6 months.
All right, okay. So my second question is, what is it like being a Turkish club in Germany? Obviously, you have Turgutçu in Munich. What is it like being a Turkish club in Berlin?
Yeah, I think there is. We can make the question a little bit more bigger. What is it to work for a club or in a club with a foreign background? That's not only for people with Turkish background. We have also clubs in Berlin with Arabic background. We have clubs with Croatian background or Serbian background. Sorry, and I think there is in Berlin, and especially in West Berlin, it's not so a big trouble because the history of migration is so old in West Berlin that the most people get used to be together with people from different cultures and with different backgrounds. We have there a little bit different situation in the east of Berlin because they are not so used to it, and there are some racist insults we can hear sometimes if you are play there. I think that it's a little bit, but I don't want to say West Germany is better than East Germany, but the history gave a little bit more opportunities for classic West Germans to learn together, to be together with people from different cultures, and especially now. I think you see the league. We have teams with Turkish names for. We have a team with Bosnian name. We have a team with a Croatian name. We have a team with a Yiddish name, and all in the same league. And of course, teams from West Berlin and East Berlin. I think the Berlin League is really interesting because that shows the kind of the new Germany.
Absolutely, yeah. So my third question is, what is it like playing in the Berlin Liga? It's such a diverse league. It's one of the best, in my opinion. What is it like to be playing in that league? Is it difficult, or is it a decent league to play in?
Yeah, Turkiyemspor, we had better times years before, and then we had financial struggled last years, and we fall down to the seventh league. That was the Landesliga, one down from now playing Berlin League. So we came from higher leagues, and we have to play on a bigger niveau. Of course, it's have a charm to play together with such teams with different background. But for us, we are all Berlins. It's only a Berlin league, our only Berlin teams. It's not for us. It's not a big thing to play against Croatia or other team. It's a team from Berlin, and we are Berliners. And for us, some people of our club, they are missing the times we are playing from against teams from out of Berlin, and we get that back to our women's team to make the promotion to the regional league. And we are missing that feeling maybe. And the Berlin thing is normal because we have it every day on the street. Also, we are together with German origin people, with Turkish origin people, Arabic origin people, or Croatian origin people every day on the streets or in the bars or in the schools in the town.
No, right, yeah. So my next question is: do you ever see Trkiyemspor get back to maybe the Oberliga or the Regionalliga Nordost? Do you ever see them getting back there, or do you think it'll probably be staying in the lower leagues for the future?
Yeah, in my dreams, of course, I start to come to Turkiyemspor as a fan, and I worked since 20 years in different positions there. And most people from Turkiyemspor are like me. We came as a player or as a fan to this club, and we're staying there for 20 years, somebody for 30 years or 40 years now. Of course, we have the dream to play higher football. We are not a social project, even if we are making so much social projects at our club. We want to play football, and we want to play football how good we can. But we have to be realistic. We struggled. We have financial struggles the last years. Now, the last 3 years, we come back on a good level. But we see what we have to done, and we have to done our homeworks, and our homeworks is to bring our youth teams back to this what we had before. We had our under 19 years old team was playing in the highest league in Germany, and we was going to the German Cup finals. And we have to go back with our youth teams in every age, bring them to a good place, and then we think about go forward with the first men's team maybe for the Oberliga. But if we don't have the basis, that's dangerous for the future of Trkiyemspor. And I think we learned that we don't want to be in a struggle like that before.
Right, thanks. So my next question is, do you look at Turkiyemspor down in Munich and go, we want to be like them? Obviously, it's a massive achievement that they've started playing professional football, and they're doing very well in the Dritte Liga right now. Do you look at Turkiyemspor and go, we really want to be like those guys, or are you happy to be your own thing?
Yeah. The biggest difference between Trkiyemspor and Türkgücü is we are a community club.
Yeah.
We have so much respect for Türkgücü because they have a long time history. In the 80s, our coach, in the beginning of the 90s, our coach ran from Trkiyemspor to Türkgücü. Both of these clubs, both clubs have a big history, and both of the clubs have a struggle. And now Türkgücü is a little bit more like a one-man show. It's really, they work professional, they have the money, they have some issues with training capacities, they have problems there, and I think they will make better training capacities in the next year, hopefully after Corona. But I think Trkiyemspor is a little bit different because we are more community-based. We have now more than 20 teams in our club. We have the biggest. We are the biggest club, migration club in the whole Europe, with migration background, and we know that even if we are not a grassroots organization, we have a president and we choose the presidents, and even if we have a president, we'll never be a problem to get a new president if our president want to go back to business or something like that, because so much people grow up with Trkiyemspor is in the club. So we based in our community, and the community will bring us forward. And that has, they have positive moments like we have now, that we have a community. And the bad thing is we have not so much money and we are a little bit more slow. But of course, if Turkish opens the door and we can go as a second club to this door, also we will be happy. And
Yeah,
maybe we see a door one day.
no, absolutely. That'd be fantastic. The next question I have is obviously, and I heard this, you'll need to settle this for me. This is my next question is, I heard a story from somebody that I know in Berlin that back when Turkiyemspor were in the Zweite Bundesliga, is it true that the games were shown on TV in Turkey? Because that's what somebody was telling me, that the Turkish state TV showed Trkiyemspor games in Turkey and it was more popular than the Super League.
Yeah, we never played second league. We was close to the second league, and we played in the third league. That was called also Oberleague in this time. And yes, the Turkish broadcaster TRT broadcasted it, and they broadcasted it on the label TRT Int, TRT International. That was like Deutsche Welle. It was a channel from Turkey for the people all over the world interested in Turkish issues. Yes, and that was quite a big vibe that we have this opportunity, and they bring out their games there. But I think we were never more popular than teams on the Turkish Super League. Maybe in our heart, but realistic, maybe not.
Yeah, there's just because, like I said, I know somebody in Berlin, and he was telling me all about that. So he's German.
The last game was broadcast from Turkish state television. Maybe it's 20 years before. That was the Berlin Cup final, and we was playing against the other club with Turkish origin. Yeşilyurt was the name of the club, and the club doesn't exist until today anymore. And they broadcast this also. And I was in Turkey seeing that with friends, and we make a small Berlin Turkish party in Istanbul at that day.
Yeah, I can imagine. Another thing is I'd like to ask you is, for young lads coming into the Trkiyemspor, young Turkish lads, do they look up to players like Gundogan and Ozil and Katucu and I'll remember his name in a minute, the young lad for Dresden, Altgren, and do people look at them as players and go, I want to be like them and play for bigger clubs, or even go on to the big international stage that players like Ozil and Gundogan have reached?
Yes, of course we have players like that, or better, we had players like that. But after the financial struggle, like I told before, we lost our under 19, under 17, and under 15 teams. And if you are a good player in the really young years, with 6, 7, 8, 9 years now at Türkiyemspor, and we figure out that he's good, we try to speak with the parents and say, we have not the opportunity to give the right education to your kid. Yeah. So maybe it's better that you go to another club, because we have not, you need, if you want to make a professional footballer from Turkiyemspor, we need the under 19, under 17, under 15 team. If you don't have it, you cannot, it's not good for the future of the kids.
Yeah, because I see a lot of young Turkish players, especially or players of Turkish origin at clubs like Hertha, Svaj,
yes,
BFC, Dinamo, TB. Those sorts of clubs, because they have the facilities, obviously, to be dealing with these players. And I know there's I can't remember his name, but it used to be, I think he was a defender, played for Dinamo, BFC Dinamo, and he was a good player. He was a fantastic player back when Dinamo were in the Oberliga Nord, and they got promoted back up, and he was quite a key member of the squad then. So
yeah. Of course, that's a good thing also. In the beginning of Türkiyemspor, 40 years before, the people with foreign background had a little bit more issues to find a good club in Berlin since today. And so it was more important that we have community clubs like Türkiyemspor or Croatia, where people can go and come together with people. They have the same origin, or nobody will ask where you came from, because kind of insult also if your team members every time ask where you come from, where your parents came from. Yo, I'm from Berlin. I'm living here. I'm paying my tax. I'm a Berliner like you. Only the difference is that my friends came from Istanbul. Your parents came from Munich. But there is not more different. And now it's nice thing to see that the so-called German clubs are more open than 30 years or 40 years before, that we have more people with different background in the youth teams of Hertha or AFC Dynamo also.
Yeah, that's because obviously Dynamo have that reputation of with their fans, and I've been to the club, and I've got to say the people I met were perfectly pleasant, and but obviously Dynamo does have that reputation. And that brings me on to my next question: is when you play clubs like Dynamo or clubs like, obviously, if you ever meet a club like Lokomotiv Leipzig that have that reputation, have you faced discrimination from the fans and the coaches? Because I know Turkiyemspor have had problems in the past, Magdeburg fans and Trkiyemspor fans, and it seems to be mostly, sadly, East German clubs. And
racism after, not only after, before the wall came down, we had racist problems also in West Berlin. But it gets more and more big struggle for our club after the wall comes down. And we had especially, and I can say maybe in 99% of the stadiums in East Germany, we had struggles, and more struggles than good you have today, because in these times, racism was not discussed in football, in soccer.
Absolutely.
If we say there was a racist issue from fans or from other players or from coaches or something like that, the Football Federation tried to stop us in that time. Or newspapers was writing about, oh, they lost the game and now they came with the racist issues to get a point from the federation or something like that. Today, we have clear lines in German soccer, in German football, and this is a good thing for Turkish that they can work with that and can say, there was something, there was fans, they say something, they shout something. Now the Football Federation have to act. Yeah. And we had not this comfort in the 90s. And it's good that it's changed because now our women teams plays in Regionalliga. This is a third league for women, and we have to play in the East also. And I think everybody knows now racism have no place in football or soccer. So because they say it, the president says it, and the rules say that. And if you are a racist, now you are outside of the big football community in Germany. And I think that's a good thing, and it's a good movement. As we can see, it's changed something in 20 years. Of course, there is racism also. We cannot stop it with rules. But it's not so hard maybe like 20 years before.
Yeah, because I'm a Hertha fan. That's my German club. And Turina Riga was talking about his dad. They grew up in Chemnitz. So his dad came over and it was still called Karl-Marx-Stadt. And this was in East Germany. And the Volkspolizei, the East German police, only stopped a lynch mob from getting him because they recognised him as a player. His dad played for an East German club. And that was a problem that I suppose in East Germany, people were not used to other cultures because of how closed off the country was. And it's not an excuse, but they didn't have that. And despite the fact that the communist government said, oh, you have to be equal and everything, people didn't listen to that because they didn't have the exposure.
Yeah. That's make a big thing. Of course, we have in the West racist people also, but this racist mostly know what they can say and what not. And mostly of the racists in West Germany know what I'm thinking. It's not common. I cannot say that on the street because so much people will say something against me, or maybe they will act against me, or they will call the police. So we have a little bit more, the civil background is more open in the best only because of the histories, not because they are better people or something like that.
So the next question I want to ask you is, what is obviously the Berlin Cup is an amazing competition. This is a two-part. The first one is, do you hope to win it someday and get into the DFB Pokal? And my second part is, what has been your favourite game in the Berlin Cup?
In the history of Turkiyemspor, that of course is the winning of the cup. We won 2 times the final, and that was the most exciting games. The whole town was blue-white, and Kreuzberg, our district, was a party zone, and nobody expected that. Without the it was really interesting. We had fans from West Germany. They came 600, 700 kilometers to see this was happening there. That's history, and I will never forget that. Also, the game against Stuttgart Kickers, a team from the second league in the second round of German Cup, after we won the Berlin Cup. Yeah, that's because it was the time we was sticked in the war. We was West Berlin. West Berlin was in East Germany, but was not part of East Germany. We was kind of a part of West Germany, but that was far away. So the first games against the team outside from Berlin, that was amazing. It was open. The world was open for Turkiyemspor now.
Absolutely, and then obviously, of course, the Berlin Cup sort of shows off the city now, because teams from East Berlin play teams from West Berlin, and it's amazing. And obviously, clubs like Victoria and BFC dominate the Berlin Cup now. But
of course,
could have their day. And my next question is, you look at Trkiyemspor now in the lower leagues in clubs like Victoria and BFC Dinamo, and do you guys worry that you're being left behind in terms of development? Because your Berlin football's continually developing. If Victoria win the Regionalliga Nordost, they'll go to the Dritte Liga, and you've got Hertha and Union in the Bundesliga. So Berlin football's advancing, but are you worried you guys will be left behind?
Sorry, the last sentence I didn't understand. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. So are you guys worried you'll be left behind in terms of developing? You're left in the lower league because the rest of the Berlin clubs like Victoria and Union and Hertha are doing so well, and you've got a lot of Berlin clubs in the Regionalliga, and it really feels like you're missing out on the party a bit because of the history you guys have.
Yeah, of course, that's a reality. We are not the number 3 or number 4 in the town. Even if we are on Twitter, one of the biggest clubs in Berlin, but Twitter is only Twitter. It's not a soccer league. And but that is I tried to explain before, that we are a community club, and we have to see our roots, and we have to work with our roots. And if we want to grow once more, we have to grow healthy, because we grow unhealthy 10 years before and had mistakes, and these mistakes could kill the club. Yeah. And finally, we managed the club to bring alive once more, and to stay in the league and to play football. And we opened a basketball department also. So we are thinking now, and hopefully we have the time for that, that we work slowly for the next 5 or 6 years, and we need the basis. We need more young players. We are open for young players, and we want to grow healthy. And if there was not Corona this year, maybe you can see a little bit more about what we think about that, because this year we try to open under 15 team for men's, for young kids also. Next year there was a plan to bring the under 17 team back, because we want to grow slowly, and we want to give the people a home at Türkiyemspor. Yeah. Of course, we can now pay money to bring young people to Türkiyemspor, but if they come other team and give a little bit more money, they are going. So We want to grow the people at Türkiyemspor and that they feel the community. And if you stay 6 or 7 years in a club, then came another club and say, okay, I give you 100 euro more. Then you think about, oh, but that's my home club. I have so good times the last 6, 7 years here. I grow there. Maybe then the 100 euro is not so important. And that is the future of clubs like Turkiyemspor, not only Turkiyemspor, there are so much community clubs in Berlin. The basis is the thing, and the basis is our future.
Okay, so my next question is, I won't keep you too much longer. My next question is, how important is Trkiyemspor to the community in your area? Obviously, I was talking to Berliner Strahlau and Blau-Weiß Friedrichshain in my previous videos, and they were talking about how important their clubs are to their tiny little areas. Obviously, Trkiyemspor caters for a bigger community, a wider community. How important is the club to that wider community?
Yeah, I think Turkiyemspor is for the Turkish community in Germany or for the foreign community in Germany one of the most important players. We have so much organizations against racism or from Turkish groups, from Sivas or Ankara or other small NGOs with political issues or social issues. But the popularity of football brings the other key. Turkiyemspor, if you ask somebody in Germany, a German or a Turkish guy in Germany, what is the biggest organization in Germany by Turks? They say Turkiyemspor or maybe now Turkish Munich. And then they have to think about.
Yeah,
that is the big issue. We have the impact for whole Germany, and even outside of Germany, people look at our club, what's going on there. And if something happened with racist issues, the first thing what journalists do, they call Turkiyemspor members and ask, what you think about that? Because we are a symbol for the modern society and for the history of migration to Germany. And we cannot change that, and we have to go with it and to work with it. Of course, we are a football club and not a political organization, but we have to say something sometimes.
Absolutely. So my last question before I do my outro is, to anybody, when coronavirus is over, from Edinburgh or from the rest of Scotland or the rest of the United Kingdom, what would you say to anybody wanting to come over and see a Trkiyemspor game? Would you recommend it, and what would you say to anybody wanting to come and see the club?
Yeah, to see the club, to come to Turkiyemspor means to see the most interesting people of Berlin come together. We have people with old school Turkish backgrounds. We have so much modern people at our club, and we have people they're lesbian or homosexual. They came and visited the games because we came from Kreuzberg. Kreuzberg, we have not only the Turkish background, we have the Kreuzberg background. This is the most multicultural district in Germany, the most leftist district in Germany, and a part in Germany where the nightlife is going on. And all of these people you can find at Türkiyemspor outside at daytime with football, with nice food. And I think that is an experience for everybody who visits Berlin. Come and look what's going on the field, on the ground.
Right, perfect. Well, I'll do my intro now. Thank you so much to Hacky and
thank you that you have us and you are interested in our club.
Yeah, no, it's been a fantastic privilege to get to this. Not every day that a lad from Edinburgh gets to do this, so absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed doing this today. It's such an interesting topic, especially with Turgucu and the 3 Liga now. Thanks so much for watching. To my viewers, thank you so much to the club and Hacky for doing this with me. Remember, guys, leave a like if you enjoy this sort of content. Smash that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and I will see you all later. Jack out.